If you've ever been told, I don't understand that word, even though you pronounced every sound correctly, then this episode is for you. Welcome to the Accent Journey. Hello, and great to have you with us on the podcast for non-native speakers of American English who want to sound clearer, more confident, and more natural when they speak. I'm Steve Nelson, an accent coach with Accent First Speech Communication Services. In the last two episodes, we focused on endings, first S and then ED. Today, we're shifting to something even more powerful. But first, let's review the practice passage from our last instructional episode a few weeks ago. If you remember Steph Castiello from last week's interview, well, he's back this week to give us his reading of that passage. Take it away, Steph.
Last year, I worked on several projects. I learned new skills. I joined a new team, attended meetings, and completed tasks on time. At first, it felt challenging, but I stayed focused and finished everything I started.
Thanks so much for that, Steph. And if you didn't get a chance to listen to the interview with him last week, I encourage you to go back to episode 5 and check it out. Steph tells us why he feels it's important for him as a YouTuber to modify his accent so he can sound more natural and native-like when he speaks English. And he shares with us some advice on how he's done it himself. So definitely make sure to have a listen to that interview. And if you want to read the practice passage yourself on the podcast, contact us at info@accentfirst.com and maybe we'll hear your voice on the show next. Okay, now to this week's lesson, which is about syllable stress. Syllables are parts of words that consist of either a vowel or a vowel and one or more consonants. So cat has one syllable, while river has two, and university has 5 syllables. Remember that the number of vowels in a word is equal to the number of syllables that it has. Now here's something important. In English, stress matters more than individual sounds. If you mispronounce one consonant, people can still understand you for the most part. But if you stress the wrong syllable, native speakers may not recognize the word at all. For example, I was once talking to a friend and he told me that he had once joined a committee. And I said, committee? What's that? Committee is a word in English. It means something like friendship. But he said, a group of people who get together and make decisions. And I said, oh, you mean committee. He had stressed the wrong syllable in that word. Sometimes even the same word can have a different stress pattern if it's used in a different way. For example, the word present, with stress on the first syllable, is a gift, while present, with stress on the second syllable, means to give something to someone. Same spelling, different stress, and different meaning. English listeners are trained to recognize stress patterns first. So what is syllable stress? Every word has one syllable that sounds stronger than the other. This is called the stressed syllable. If the word only has one syllable, like the word ball, then that's the stressed syllable. For words with more than one syllable, however, one syllable clearly sounds stronger than the others in the word. This stressed syllable is longer, louder, clearer, and a pitch glide that goes up in pitch then down. Unstressed syllables are said faster, quieter, with a flat intonation, and the vowel is often reduced. You remember the schwa from the first episode? That's right, the The vowel in the unstressed syllable often becomes that sound. Think of the word apple. The stressed first syllable is said fully, meaning louder, longer, and with a pitch glide, while the second syllable pull is said quickly, softly, and with less facial muscle movement, and the vowel becomes a schwa, or Let's try it together. Apple, apple, apple. Think of stress like a spotlight. One syllable stands in the light, while the others stay in the background. Now, for some words, it's a little more complex than that. Many words also have a secondary stressed syllable that is a little weaker than the main stressed syllable. But we'll save that for a later podcast, and for now, just focus on the stressed versus unstressed syllables. Okay, let's look at some common patterns in two-syllable words. For nouns and adjectives, we most commonly stress the first syllable, like this: table, doctor, happy, clever. Do you hear how that first syllable is a little stronger than the second one? And for verbs, we most often stress the second syllable: relax, arrive, begin, decide. This isn't true 100% of the time, but it's very common. What goes wrong is that many learners often stress every syllable equally, or they automatically stress the last syllable, or they just follow the stress pattern of their first language. When that happens, English can sound flat, robotic, or confusing. The solution is not pronouncing words stronger, but putting contrast between the words. Strong versus weak, long versus short, clear versus reduced. This alteration of stressed and unstressed syllables in English is the main element of its speech rhythm, meaning the patterns in connected speech that give English its distinctive melodic flow. All right, let's do some practice. Repeat after me. Table, doctor, happy, clever. Now some verbs. Relax, arrive, begin, decide. Feel the difference in rhythm between the two syllables. Now some contrast practice. Listen and repeat. Present, present, record, record. And now some sentences. I bought a present. I will present tomorrow. She set a new record. They will record the meeting. Here's an extra challenge for you. I'm going to read 5 words, and I want you to try to decide which syllable is stressed. I'll give you the answer after each word. Photograph. Did you get stress on the first syllable? Photograph. Discover. Did you guess the second syllable is stressed? Discover. Amazing. Once again, the stressed syllable is the second one. Amazing. Holiday. This word has stress on the first syllable. Holiday. Computer. This word has second syllable stress. Now let's do our practice passage for this week. First, I'll read it slowly. Yesterday, I attended a meeting and presented a new proposal. The project required careful planning and clear communication. Although the schedule was demanding, the team remained focused and completed the assignment successfully. Now let me read it again a little more naturally. Yesterday, I attended a meeting and presented a new proposal. The project required careful planning and clear communication. Although the schedule was demanding, the team remained focused and completed the assignment successfully. The text for this passage will be in the show notes for this episode, as well as on our website at accentfirst.com/podcast. Now, here are the key takeaways for this episode. First, stress affects recognition more than individual sounds. Second, English depends on strong and weak contrast. And third, rhythm is built from stress, not perfection. If you improve stress, your accent will improve dramatically, even if individual sounds aren't perfect. And here's your challenge for this week. When you learn a new word, check its stress. Say it out loud 3 times, and practice today's passage daily. This podcast is brought to you by Accent First Speech Communication Services. online at accentfirst.com. Drop us a line at info@accentfirst.com. Our music is Hypnosis by Vendredi. And if you enjoy the show, make sure you're subscribed wherever you find podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and many other places. And make sure you rate our podcast, leave a review, and also a comment if you watch on YouTube. Next time, we'll move from syllable stress to word stress, and we'll learn how emphasis changes meaning in conversation. Until then, keep listening, keep practicing, and trust your progress.